So this is really sweet, but it's a little different tone than some of your other films that have previous films and even what's coming up, Gatsby and Zero Dark 30. So was that part of the attraction?
I don't want to ever do the same thing twice in a row, or I don't want to get stuck doing the same kind of movie. You know, like movies say all different sorts of things in different rhythms, with different tones, with different kind of genres, and I want to be involved in all of it. And it really just is a question of whether the project wants me and whether I want to help tell that story, like whether I respond to it. This movie is very similar actually to Warrior and Animal Kingdom because it says so much about family, but they're just different, you know, different beasts.
Well, it's a different tone. I love Warrior and love Animal Kingdom, but this is a quite different tone. I mean, I think it's really sweet, and I think maybe that's something that we need a little bit of in a cynical world.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, it's also one of the great reasons that drew me into this film too is, while it seems like it has a lot softer edge than a lot of those other movies, I think a lot of movies are kind of guarded in that they're trying to be cool. They're trying to second guess what an audience wants, and I think Peter wanted to reach out to an audience and actually kind of put his hand on their chest and you know, have a channel through to the people's hearts, you know. And this film is very open-hearted. It's not trying to be anything. It's just trying to kind of hold a mirror up to life a little bit, kind of a magic mirror, I guess, you know, that there's that magical element to it.
You've just mentioned that you're sort of attracted to projects that have to do with family dynamics. What is it about that sort of appeals to you personally?
Well, relatability is a big word when it comes to stories. The reason stories exist in the first place is because they're there to teach us something. We all think now we're going to be entertained, but really the entertainment started way back, you know, when people shared stories and they were cautionary tales. Each story had a purpose. So, you know, family stories definitely have a purpose, I mean, in our world, because we're constantly grappling with this idea of family. Either we have a damaged family and want to fix it, or we have a great family and we want to celebrate it. And everything in between, you know, and there's all different incarnations of what a family is. Now, there's no better way to go to the cinema and be moved than to hear a story about family, because we all get our nerves plucked, you know, and it can be a very emotional experience.
One of the fun things to watch you do in this film was physically. There was a different physicality to it, to this character, than we've seen from you before. Yeah. There was an awkwardness to Jim that lent itself to being someone who needed to learn to stand up for himself. You know, it was like in the body. Was that something that Peter Hedges wanted you to do? Yeah,
and it's what I want to do. I mean, I want to, you know, you want to find the right physicality for a character. I mean, a character has so many elements. It's the set that they're standing in, the people they're relating to, what they're wearing, and the sound of their voice and the rhythm of their voice, but it's also how they move. We all move the way we move, but that's just the way we move, and a character maybe should move differently, you know. So it was trying to find the right physicality for a character. Each movie should be different, maybe.
What do you want audiences to take away from this movie?
I'd really love them to take away the idea that time is really important, you know. These stories, the stranger comes into town, alters everybody, and then inevitably has to leave. And there's that real sadness that comes from the departure. But it really reminds you that life is worth living, make use of it now, and that to value each other while they're still around. And that really resonates for me.
I'm such a Baz Luhrmann fan.
Yeah.
What's this movie going to be like?
I'm a Baz Luhrmann fan too. And I just got to work with him. And I'm such an even bigger fan. I think the film's going to be amazing. I mean, it's going to be, who knows, everything you could dream of and more. And hopefully at the same time that it's fantastic and wild and exuberant and, you know, the drunken, mad vibrance of the 20s, it's also a very great human story within that, you know, is obviously very important to this country and a lot of people, because people keep opening that book, and it's for a reason.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing this one on AMC screens. Thanks.
Thank you.